What's up, guys? It's your boy Rich. So the mythical dragon is back. It seems that Sebastian and Brellum watches can do no wrong. Everything they do turns to magic. So let's go check out their Wyvern Petite Seconds. Let's do it. I'd like to thank Brellum for sponsoring this video. And the Wyvern Petite Seconds is in 42.5 millimeters, 50 from lug to lug, 10.9 millimeters tall, including the domed sapphire crystal, or 9.4 millimeters tall before the crystal becomes domed. And it's with a 22 millimeter lug width. So it was a little over a year ago when I was one of the first ones to feature or review Brellum's Pandial chronograph. And I was really impressed by the quality back then that I just knew Brellum was going to be a sensational brand. So fast forward to today, and Brellum is just synonymous with quality. And they are a great example of an independent brand, or a micro brand, or an enthusiast-driven brand. However we want to classify them as, they are that. And the owner, Sebastian of Brellum Watches, was also ahead of his time, and we'll talk about that in just a moment. The brushed and polished finishing is as you would expect from Brellum, well done. And I think the contrasting finishing, coupled with that domed crystal, really is tastefully done. So if you talk about the dial, there is a lot to like about it. It certainly has a lot of vintage notes to it, but it's also modern at the same time. And while I like the applied indices and the way that it is done, my favorite part on the dial has to be the sub-dial seconds hand above 6 o'clock. I really like the way that the seconds hand is and the crosshairs. And so while this is in the Sunray Blue, it's also available in black and silver. And I also know that Brellum just released a stainless steel bracelet, but my preference is on the strap. So before I continue on and rave about this and give this an 11 on a 10, I do want to talk about this strap. It clearly has an alligator look to it, and there's the Brellum branding on the buckle. It is a deploying clasp with more decorating on the clasp, but it does not indicate that it's genuine alligator. Instead, it does indicate that it's genuine leather, of course. So that is just worth noting. And it is lined in rubber, which is one of my favorite things because it will just extend the life of the leather a lot longer. So earlier I just touched on why Sebastian was ahead of his time, and we're looking at the ETA-based movement. And that's because even back then, or even today, very few smaller brands or independent brands are using COSC movement. It was especially rare back then, but today there might be a couple more brands that are doing that. Instead, a lot of brands will simply slap on a custom rotor and call the movement modified. Not the case with Sebastian and Brellum. Clearly, it has a beautifully gold custom rotor with the Wyvern Dragon design in it, but it's also a modified and regular movement that is COSC certified. So that is something that Sebastian wanted to do, and it was important to him. It just completes the watch. So when we talk about a beautiful watch, we can actually say it's beautifully made inside and out. So this watch was originally intended to be a limited run. And because it was really popular, Sebastian shared with me that he is going to continue on with this as a mainstay in his lineup. And I know that's going to cause some mixed feelings, right? Because for those of us who missed out on it earlier, we're now able to get it. And for those of us who it was important that it was a limited edition, well, it is what it is. But I can certainly understand why Sebastian wanted to make this a mainstay in his collection, because it is just a really worthwhile watch. I wouldn't describe this watch as a dress watch or a sporty watch. Instead, I would call it, and there is a nice onion style crown with the Wyvern logo in it, I would call this a nice hybrid between a sporty watch and a dress watch. One that can be worn with a suit or with jeans and a t-shirt, which is oftentimes how I wear it. The retail price of the Wyvern Petite Seconds is approximately $1,700. And for that, we are getting a Swiss-made watch, and a watch that's really made to order. These are custom order watches, and just by an owner that really takes great pride in the watch inside and out. This is just a watch that is just an easy recommend and definitely worthy of our consideration. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you the next time. So the dragon is back. No. The mythical dragon is back. The dragon is back. No.